My name is Emily. I am 26 years old, and I live alone in a small apartment above an old flower shop. My life is quiet, sometimes too quiet. I spend my days painting faces that live only in my mind, faces I've never met, faces that somehow feel familiar. I don't talk much to people. I like silence, but lately the silence has started talking back. It was a cold winter night when everything changed. The power had gone out, and the whole apartment was dark except for the candle I lit near my dresser mirror. It's an old mirror, tall and a little cracked at the corner. It used to belong to my grandmother. I still remember her words. Never stare too long into a mirror after midnight, she used to say. I laughed then. But that night, her words echoed in my mind. I stood there watching my reflection dance with the flickering light, and suddenly I saw something, or someone just behind me, a shadow, a man, tall, dark hair, pale eyes. I froze. My heart jumped. I turned around quickly, but there was no one there, just the wind brushing against the window. I turned back to the mirror and the shadow was gone, just me again, standing there, pretending not to be afraid. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that face, the man in the mirror. His eyes looked sad, almost lost, like he was trying to tell me something. I told myself it was just my imagination, maybe too much coffee, too little sleep. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. Something had begun, something strange. The next night, I stood in front of the mirror again. The clock showed midnight. My hands were shaking. My breath felt heavy. I whispered softly, "Who are you?" For a long moment, there was only silence. The candle flickered. The room felt colder. Then suddenly, I saw him again, this time clearer. His face looked calm but tired, and his lips moved slowly as if he wanted to speak, but no sound came out. I whispered again, "Can you hear me?" He nodded. My heart started racing. I took one step closer, and for a second, I felt warmth. Like he was real, like he was right there, breathing with me. I reached my hand toward the glass, and at that moment, the lights flickered on, and he vanished. I gasped and stepped back, my heart beating fast, my hand trembling. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew this wasn't a dream. Every night after that, I came back to the mirror. Every night, he was there waiting, sometimes closer, sometimes far. I started talking to him, telling him about my day, my fears, my loneliness, and he listened, quietly, patiently, like he understood every word. I didn't even realize when I started waiting for midnight, when I started waiting for him, the man in the mirror. Days turned into weeks, and every night I met him again, the man in the mirror. I didn't know his name, but I started calling him Adam. It just felt right. Every time I whispered his name, the air around me grew still, as if the world stopped for a second. I didn't understand why I felt so close to someone who wasn't even real, but in my heart, he was, and that was enough. Sometimes he smiled at me, a small, sad smile that said 1,000 words. Sometimes he looked tired, like he was fighting to stay there, to keep looking at me. I started to paint him, his face, his eyes, his half smile, my whole room filled with his portraits. I didn't tell anyone, not even my friend Sarah, because how could I? Who would believe me? One night, when the rain was falling hard outside, I stood in front of the mirror again, holding a candle. I whispered, "Adam, who are you?" For a long time he didn't move. Then slowly, he raised his hand and touched the glass. I did the same, and for the first time, I felt something warm. Not cold like glass, but real, human. My heart jumped, and a single tear rolled down my cheek. I didn't know why. But I felt him, really felt him. Then he wrote something on the fogged mirror with his finger. Just one word, help. I froze, my breath stopped. I whispered, "Help? What do you mean?" He looked desperate, his eyes filled with fear. He wrote again, "Trapped." I didn't understand. I wanted to scream, but my voice broke. "Trapped where?" I asked. He pointed toward the darkness behind him. The reflection showed a faint room, old, dusty, with broken furniture. It looked nothing like my room. It looked like another world, another time. And for a moment, I felt dizzy, like I was falling into it. That night, I dreamt of him. The same old room, the same cold air. I could hear his voice calling me. "Emily, please find me." I woke up sweating, gasping, the mirror glowing faintly in the dark. I wanted to look, but I couldn't. I was scared of what I'd find. The next morning, I decided to find the truth. I searched my grandmother's old things, hoping for a clue, and then I found it. An old photograph, a young man standing beside her. He had the same pale eyes, the same dark hair. Written on the back were the words, Adam, 1946. My hands shook. My heart was pounding. I ran back to the mirror, tears in my eyes. Adam, who are you? Were you her brother? The man nodded slowly. A tear slid down his cheek, and then he whispered, though I couldn't hear, I could read his lips. Accident. Suddenly, everything made sense. He wasn't just a man in the mirror. He was my grandmother's brother, the one who died before she was born, his soul trapped inside the mirror for decades, waiting for someone who shared her blood to find him, to set him free. I didn't know how, but I felt it. I had to break the mirror. I picked up a small stone, my hands trembling. I whispered, I'm sorry, Adam.